Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about Usman Garuba and why I think he has the potential to be an absolute stud. Now, the Houston Rockets selected him with the 23rd pick in last week's NBA draft, and he was playing for Spain in the Olympics. So some of you guys may have remembered, I believe it was it the semifinals when that was against Australia. So whatever it was before the semifinal game, USA played Spain, and Usman Garuba was there. And it's just really cool to watch him play. It's really cool that he is actually going to be on the Summer League roster. There was some concern that the Houston Rockets might not buy him out in time for him to play. So Usman will be at the Summer League for the Houston Rockets. So he's 19 years old. He was the youngest player on the squad for Spain. And the Houston Rockets, a lot of people actually thought that they were trading up for number 16, that they were going to select Usman Garuba because he had the potential to be a pick right there. Now, I would say most scouts were totally shocked that Usman was still on the board at 23, and that's incredible news. Now, he could be one of the best defenders in the entire NBA. I have some highlights playing here. Now, Usman's 19 years old, and so he's kind of like the defensive quarterback or like the middle linebacker. He sets the tone. He's going to get some big assignments, and he'll get some minutes. What Usman does is he provides a lot of effort and statistics where the box score doesn't show up. He's just an absolute warrior. I mean, I would compare him to almost like a Draymond Green, almost like a Jayshawn Tate for a Rockets comparison. Those guys who are out there putting in all this work, guys like PJ Tucker. The things that don't show up on the box score, like the box outs, the tipped balls, that type of thing. He looked good to me against USA. He actually guarded Jason Tatum against the US, and Tatum beats Garuba on the first step, which is a weakness for Garuba. However, he has the quickness and length, 7'3" wingspan, that he recovers and blocks Jason Tatum at the rim. Now, if he's doing that already against one of the best scorers, one of the best players in the NBA, before he even steps onto an NBA court, his potential is looking pretty good. I wonder what he's going to look like at the end of his rookie contract when he turns 23. Defense was not good for the Houston Rockets last year. The team had the 4th worst defensive rating in the league, and it was an issue that needed to be addressed. Now, Garuba's going to dramatically improve the defense. However, he's obviously not going to cure it entirely. He will get some big matchups, and it'll allow guys like Green, Christian Wood, KPJ to do what they need to do on offense. Just the thing about Garuba is he's 19 years old, so he's really young. And that's the thing with Garuba is he'll get minutes, but I think he'll slowly work his way up into the roster this season. I think it'll be kind of like what Jayshawn Tate had. Last year, we signed Jayshawn Tate. He played 2 years overseas. He was a 4-year college student. So we got this 25-year-old rookie, and no one knew too much of what to think about him because he was the MVP or the playoff MVP of the Australian Basketball League the year before. And so there was a lot of hype around him. I made a video about him, but I wasn't anticipating him to play too much. And so he actually came out, didn't play all that much until James Harden left and all those guys left. But Jayshawn Tate he got exceedingly better as the season went on. You could tell he was adjusting to the NBA speed. You could tell he was getting fitter. He was getting more lean. He was starting to be more confident. Just everything started to click with Jayshawn Tate and the Houston Rockets as that season progressed. And I think that's going to be exactly what happens to Garuba. I think he'll come off the bench, probably be paired up with Şengün, getting around 20 to 25 minutes a night right out of the gate. And then I think his defensive presence will get him to that 25-minute-a-game mark for just the entire season. Now, below average presence on offense. We haven't really talked about that. This is what is limiting Garuba from becoming just a surefire superstar in the NBA. He doesn't need to be a 20-point-per-night scorer, but if he can work on his three-point shot, if he can become a 3-and-D forward, he'd be terrifying in this league. What's great is that he fell into Houston, and that here I think we can really just take advantage of his potential because, we just had the worst record in the NBA. We just traded away James Harden. We just got the second pick in the draft. We have time to spare. And with Garuba on the offensive end, there was improvements. He shot 26% from three with Spain with Real Madrid last year, which is not good at all. You can tell in the highlights, sometimes his mechanics are just completely wrong. And he'll just not even be prepared to take a shot until the ball is in his hands. And then he'll line up and he'll take a shot. But you can just tell in most shots, his shooting form is not, it just doesn't look mechanically right one bit. However, through the season, he showed more and more confidence taking the three ball, and he started to make them a little bit at a better rate. The free throws were also a little concerning. Now, before this past season, he was about a career 55% free throw shooter, which, especially if you're looking at how is this guy going to be a shooter in the next couple of years, it's very troublesome. However, brought his 3-point percent or his free throw percentage this season to about 66%, which is a massive increase, over a 10% increase in just one season. At 18 to 19 years old, that's exactly what you want to see in your first pick or in your first round pick. Exactly what you want to see. You want to see improvement. You want to see the dedication to getting better. You want to see all that type of stuff. Now, I don't think he'll score too much in the NBA his first season. He lacks a lot of just defense or offensive. I don't know what to call it. It's just, especially when he's down in the paint, he just doesn't, he's such a raw player. If that makes sense. He's just so raw that he has so much he needs to polish on the offensive end that's what this next season he should really try and focus on. He's under the rim all the time. 6'8", it's not huge, but it's not small. He's a very strong man. He can be very aggressive. He's very powerful. He'll be down right under the basket, and he's just messing it up, man. That's right under the basket. If you've got your butt to them and you're under the basket, you've got the ball, you're in a great position, and he would just either get blocked a lot or it would be such an uncomfortable, goofy-looking shot. So that was a weakness. Another weakness, as I just mentioned, it's just kind of his hands and his clumsiness almost on offense, especially in transition. I believe there's a couple of clips of him doing that where it's just super sloppy, too many turnovers. He's got to polish the ball handling. He's not that bad of a playmaker, which is great because a power forward playmaker is perfect. I'll take that every day of the week. Just the thing is he just can't shoot. He's so explosive. He's just so athletic and raw that there's not much he really does on the offensive end. So Houston's a good spot to get that three-pointer going. If he can I think his goal should be about 30 to 33% in his rookie season from three. I think it should mainly be at the corner, mainly in the corner, maybe a few threes outside the corner, but if I want Usman Garuba to take a three, because it looks so uncomfortable sometimes, his three-point shot, I want it to be in the corner. I just want it to be in the corner. So with Usman, I think the Rockets, he's going to just propel this squad defensively to the next level whenever he's on the floor. You'll see the impact tomorrow. I'll be live for the game tomorrow. If he plays, you'll see the impact immediately just because of how much intensity he plays with. It's unreal. It really is like Draymond Green. His NBA comparison that I was reading is James Johnson, which I'm not a fan of one bit because, James Johnson just statistically, never really did anything. I mean, he's had a very long, I guess, successful NBA career. He's like 34 years old. He's the same height as Garuba, but I guess he has played almost 700 games, but he's only a career at like 3.6 rebounds, 2 assists. So, like, nothing too crazy. So I don't really like the James Johnson comparison. I'm much more of a fan of the Draymond Green comparison. I like that a lot more. I think he just plays with that intensity. He's got kind of a wacky shot, but his wacky shot, it only can improve. So when I viewed Draymond, especially years ago, he's got such a wacky shot. He's got kind of a weird shooting form, and he's that defensive anchor. And I think Garuba, moving forward long-term, would be a great defensive anchor. Hopefully, even we see some lineups of Garuba playing with the starters where you have him playing the 4, Christian Wood playing the 5, just to kind of see how they play together. But Şengün and Garuba as the 4 or 5 off the bench, it should be just extremely fun to watch, guys. So that's it for today. Man, I just had a hiccup. Let me know what you think about Usman Garuba down below in the comments. Go ahead and give the draft pick a grade. I will give it a B+. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. I will see you guys tomorrow.